This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic, and The Gorge is brought to you by coffee. That's ko-fi.com/thegorge. And this week, I'm not going to ask you what we're doing because I know what we're doing.
What are we doing this week, Ben?
We are doing our monthly roundup, and we're going to talk about what we've been up to, and then what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
By God, we've nearly hashed out this new intro for roundup episodes.
We're getting there. Boy, this was a month for news, so let's get right into it. Sarah, what have you been doing this month?
I want to get through video games like real fast because I'm excited to talk about all the shitty, awesome news. So we're gonna do this real quickly. I played the stuff we've been playing for the podcast, of course. So like the horror games. I've still been playing Stardew Valley because I'm in hell. Funny story, turns out I can't play the Outer... We were supposed to... If you're wondering, hey, weren't you guys going to do like an episode about Outer Wilds? You're right, we were. I even had it on my Twitter that I was playing Outer Wilds. And then I booted up Outer Wilds and I got like an hour into it. And do you remember during the observation episode where I was like, sometimes the zero-G kind of made me feel a little sick? Yeah, turns out that's a thing that I actually experience. Zero-G gameplay makes me sick.
That's just like a thing that wasn't exclusive to observation. It's just a thing you have.
I thought it was a thing just for observation. I don't know why I would think that. Maybe it's because I've never really played like a zero-G video game before observation. That happened in observation when I was flying around outside the spaceship and a few parts inside the spaceship. And I was like, that's weird. I feel kind of sick. And except most of observation takes place inside a spaceship, so I still had kind of like a reference point to like right myself. I was like, oh, well, that needs to be straight, and then I know where I'm going. The Outer Wilds, it's not the Outer Wilds, it's just Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds doesn't have that when you get into space. You're just kind of flowing and hurtling around through the void. And I, like, actually thought I was going to puke at a few points. I was like, oh, this extremely sucks. So I didn't get very far into it. So I'm probably just going to have to, like, we probably won't talk about it on the podcast, except for maybe, like, another roundup episode in the future. Because I'm probably just going to have to watch it on YouTube. Like, I want to know what happens, because everybody's talking about how, like, beautiful and moving Outer Wilds is. And I'm like, that's cool.
And, like, I would recommend that, but for one thing, like, you're probably going to be worse if you don't even have control over your orientation.
Yeah, but I can look away.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if it's like, oh, I'm in space, I can kind of look away until, like, we're back on ground. Yeah.
Yeah. I would try, if you're going to pick up some motion sickness medicine for your oncoming trip, when you get back, just try it.
Yeah. I might try some Dramamine and see how it goes. Yeah.
There's like this really good non-drowsy ginger-infused Dramamine that I take.
Okay.
And it's super, super effective.
Yeah.
And I've heard that helps for even virtual motion sickness, like with VR and stuff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so...
Maybe that'll help.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this game is something that you would want to experience.
Yeah, I know. I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah, and like, yeah, you can watch a video of it, but like the exploration is the fun part.
Right, yeah, of course.
You know? But yeah, that was like a bummer.
It was a huge bummer. I was really sad because I was like, when the game was first starting up, I was like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm you know, I like the music, I like the aesthetic, I like the kind of earthy space exploration vibe I was getting from it. It was just so charming. I made it to the moon. Even though I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I made it to the moon anyways, and I was like, oh, there's a guy just sitting around whistling under a tree in space. That's amazing. I loved it. And then I kept going, and made it a little bit further, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this.
It is kind of funny when you start feeling it, you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Then you realize, oh, I've been sick for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm actually and this is the thing. I have friends who get sick playing first-person games. Like, that's the thing that happens to a lot of people, actually, is they can't play first-person games because of the perspective. And I know a few people who are like that, and I'm like, that's weird. I've never gotten motion sick in my life. Like, I don't get sick in cars. I don't get sick in planes. I handle just travel very well. So I didn't even realize what was going on at first. I was like, I don't feel good. Why is this happening? And then I got back into the air in Outer Wilds, and I was like, oh, that's why. I see. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's the lack of a horizon line that's, like, just messing with me, and I hate it because I can't, like, orientate myself at all.
See, the nice thing about observation is there was just a button you could press. It's like, orient.
Yeah, exactly. It was great. And, and plus, like I said, in observation, you could still... You still had a general idea of, like, which way was up because of, like, all the laptops and stuff on the walls. You could kind of be like, oh, I need to be facing that way. That's the way everybody has kind of generally agreed is up. And I was like, that's easy. Cool. When you're out just, like, hurtling through space and Outer Wilds, you don't have that sense. You're just, like, there's stuff, like, flying by you, and space is huge, and there's, like, a giant sun, and you're like, oh, God, okay. Yeah, so that's what happened to me. I'll find a way to experience it eventually, just not right now. So.
Right.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. But then I turned that off, and then I immediately went and bought and downloaded The Outer Worlds, a game we've both been playing that doesn't suck and doesn't make me sick, which is awesome. So, thank God. Before we even kind of touch on that, Ben, is there anything else you've been playing?
There's actually, I've gone through a lot of little things.
Okay.
So I'll cover those real quick. I listened to and finished World War Z on Audible.
Oh, okay.
The audio book.
Don't you wish we had an Audible, like, promo code?
Like a plug to give? Yeah, that'd be great. Audible, hey.
Wonder if we could just, like, apply for it.
I'll look into that.
We should look into it. Anyways.
But, so the cool thing about the World War Z audio book is that it's done by a bunch of actors and professional narrators and stuff. The standout is Todd Wainio is played by Mark Hamill.
Yes.
And he is just great at being a sarcastic, grumpy old man.
Yes.
That's a great book.
World War Z is incredible. I mean, I've never actually listened to the audio book for World War Z, but it's one of my favorite books ever. It's really funny, mind you. I mentioned this to you in text when you were talking to me about it. I read World War Z the first time when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old, somewhere in there. And I really wasn't very, like, aware of the world. Like, I didn't really know what's going on in, like, politics and stuff. Because I was a teenager. I live in rural Alabama. Nobody tells me what goes on in politics, Like, suburbia and rural Alabama. They don't teach you what's going on in the world. So I read it, and I was like, this is really good. And then I read it again, like, as a grown-up who has actually read the news. And I just... Not to get too heavy, and we won't talk about it too much, but boy, the Israel-Palestine part of World War Z is, like, comical in how much that would just not happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
like, no. Max Brooks, no, buddy. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, but no, that would never happen. And there's a few other points in the book like that too, where you're just like, no, that's not how the real world would work.
It's a very layman's approach to politics. Yeah,
of course. But I mean, that's not really like the interesting part of World War Z. It's like the normal people stories of World War Z that I think are so fascinating even 10 years later. Oh God, I'm so old. But yeah, no, it's I still think the most gut-wrenching story of World War Z is the one about the dogs.
Yeah, the that's done by Common.
What?
That's done by Common.
The rapper?
The rapper is the actor they got for that character.
Does he do a good job?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He does.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that story sucks. I hate that story.
That story sucks so much. I could like when I read it, I actually had to put the book down and I just kind of walked off and sobbed for a while. I was just inconsolable, and I can think about it because okay. Again, we're not gonna talk about it too much. You know the bit where he talks about the pet store?
Yeah.
It's I can think about it and I just get emotional because
you just get hollow.
I just get I'm just so dead inside when I think about it. I'm like, that's the worst thing anybody has ever said to me ever.
Right.
It's so sad. I can't stand it. I just want to go lay down next to my dogs and be like, I love you both.
It's that every other video game or survival horror game where it's I'll shoot all the human enemies I want, but don't make me kill a dog.
Killing dogs in video games should be illegal, 100%.
Unless they're big monster dogs or zombie dogs like RE, but no. But don't ever make me hurt like a regular dog.
Don't make the raider dogs in Fallout 4. And they're kind of gross dogs that are kind of emaciated and they're scarred up and stuff. But I'm still yeah, but they make dog sounds and some of them still play. Yeah. You can watch a raider dog and it'll play with a teddy bear, and they still roll around and make whimpering sounds when they die. And I'm nope. That's still a certifiable dog, Bethesda. Don't make me shoot a dog. I don't care if it's all screwed up. I'll still love it.
Yeah, I'll give it a home.
I love dogs. I would absolutely take care of this fucked up raider dog, okay? So, no, that's evil. Anyways.
But yeah, the audiobook is super good.
Yes.
It it's such a cool idea for an audiobook, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Just making it a presentation,
Well, it's a true, they call it the oral history of the zombie war, and it's it's an actual oral history. That's documentary films do that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. What else did I do? I played a bunch of stuff. I'm in the process of playing a bunch of stuff because I decided to start a bunch of games this month. Just because a bunch of stuff came out.
We're in hell.
But also on this real quick, I started playing Transformers War for Cybertron because apparently I'm just a Transformers mark now.
You know what?
Apparently,
hell, it's fine.
Apparently, I'm just into this now. I was gonna be oh, this comic is good, but then I'm oh, look at this video game. Look at these other comics. Look at this cartoon. I should probably watch the CGI cartoon that came out a little while ago.
Careful. Next thing you know, you're going to be the Michael Bay movies aren't that bad.
No. The only one I do want to watch is Bumblebee eventually.
Yeah, of course. But that's a reboot, so yeah.
But no, I did watch the first 3 Transformers movies, and they're garbage. They're
so bad.
But War for Cybertron's pretty good. It's, it's a PS3, Xbox 360 era third-person shooter.
Yes.
The first one is kind of basic. Every character kind of more or less plays the same. You start on the Decepticon side, and you can start by playing it's Barricade, Megatron, or Brawl. Mm-hmm. And every level shifts between a set of new Cybertronians to play as. Mm. So in the second level, I had to play as Starscream, Blitzwing, and Thundercracker, and they're all ships. They fly. It's your standard third person over the shoulder shooter thing, but you're shooting a bunch of giant robots, and you have a transform mode. You have an alt mode that has different abilities. You go faster. You have a different gun when you're transformed.
Yes.
They do a lot of really cool aesthetic things though. When you pick up a new weapon, you aren't just grabbing a new gun and holding it. You are morphing the gun into your arm.
Ooh, that's fun.
And so that's why you can't carry a bunch of weapons.
Okay.
Is because you don't really have a holster. You're just kind of morphing it.
Okay, that's cool.
When a character climbs into a mounted turret, they become the turret.
Ooh.
They fuse with it.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, that's a neat, just that's a fun aesthetic trapping. I mean, it is just kind of a contrivance, but I like cool contrivances in video games. If you have a creative contrivance in your video game, I'm pretty Yeah, okay, at least you put more thought in it than none at all.
And, like, it's also funny because Sam Riegel plays Starscream in this game.
Flynn Scifo, no!
So I'm hearing Flynn Scifo, like, do this horrible, evil cackling stuff.
Oh, that's great.
And it's great, and I've heard the sequel is a lot better. That like the characters have a lot more variety in how they play. So I'm going to get through this and pick that one up, too.
You're just a Transformers mark now.
I'm just a Transformers fan now. This is my lot in life. It took me, 25 years, but here I am.
No, that's fine.
I also played Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little last week, about its gimmick.
Yeah, it's one of the best Donkey Kong games I've ever played. The first game there was a Banjo-Kazooie game, and right. I never played it. I own it, but I haven't played it yet. And I've heard like it's middling because like it does the thing where like, oh yeah, this is exactly like an N64 game. And that's the end of that statement.
Yeah, it's. It didn't. You didn't do anything new with it. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't do like Bloodstained or right. Those other like throwback games that come out. But this one does. This one feels. It feels like I remember Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 feeling like.
Right.
So that's a good thing. It's fluid. It plays quickly. It's made in Unity, which is weird.
Huh,
because I feel like Playtonic is a bit more advanced than Unity, but...
I guess, but I mean if it works...
Yeah.
Dusk is made in Unity, and Dusk is one of the best video games I've ever played, so I don't have a problem with Unity. It's
got some, load times, but that's a Unity issue.
Yes.
But it's... So what they didn't do in this game is that one of the complaints I heard about Yooka-Laylee was, of course, the collectibles. There's like a ton of them.
Well, yeah, of course.
This one has 2.
Oh,
it's got these quills, which are just like your coins or your bananas. Mm-hmm. They're just scattered around in their currency to buy upgrades or whatever. And then it also has 5 coins in every level, and you use those coins to unlock new parts of the map.
Oh, okay.
But it's a really low cost for it.
Yeah. And
you don't have to explore. Like, just going through the level regularly, I find like 2 or 3 on average.
Okay. That's
so,
good.
Like, yeah, and so it's not a problem. And if, like, I have to, I can go and explore a bit more, but, like, I haven't needed to so far.
Right. Okay.
That's really good. I also started Indivisible.
Oh, yeah.
Which
how you like
finally came out.
Yeah, 100 years later, it finally came out.
I like it a lot, and I like it for a lot of the reasons people don't seem to like it.
Oh, okay.
I think people were expecting a lot more than what they got.
I mean, it was in development for like 800 years, so...
Yeah, and I bet most of that was the art.
Yeah.
Honestly. Gameplay is very simplistic. You have Ajna as, like, your main party member, and then you have her 3, like, partners. And they're all assigned to a face button.
Yes. So
you use the face button and you use a direction, like, up or down, to make them do certain attacks. Like, in every character you unlock, like, is like, here's their ability, and here's their up ability, here's their down ability.
Right.
Like, one character you get can power up with his down attack to, like strengthen his next attack. One character can slow down enemies with her down attack. You have to do, like, juggling sometimes, so everyone's up attack is also a launcher.
Oh, okay.
But, like, beyond that, there is no real, like, growth. You get stronger, like, you level up, and your characters get stronger, they get more HP and stuff, but, like, you aren't unlocking more abilities, you're unlocking the ability to do more actions per round.
Okay.
Like, I can do up to 3 right now for every character. But, like, I'm not unlocking new abilities at all.
Right. Okay.
And I've heard a lot of people say, like, that's kind of a bummer because, like, they're a fighting game company and, like, you expect a bit more depth in their gameplay.
Right.
But for me, these someone, I think it was someone on my Twitter account or my Tumblr pointed out that, like, this game feels like a Saturn game.
Yeah,
and I think that's really spot on. Like, the opening cinematic felt like, oh, this feels like a Saturn FMV anime opening, you know?
Just animated by Trigger.
Yeah, just animated really well. But like the way it's like edited and the music playing in the background like feels very old-ish game.
Yeah. Of course.
And the characters are also like they're not deep, but they're really fun and cleverly written, and there's a lot of good humor. So this is not a spoiler because it happens literally in 5 minutes. Your dad dies.
Right. Yeah.
Ajna's dad dies, and her killer is your first party member.
Oh.
So, like, the soldier that killed him is the first person you recruit.
Right.
And, of course, Ajna hates him.
Well, yeah, naturally.
And thus, every partner that she recruits afterward also hates him because they like Ajna. So, like you recruit this old hermit lady, and, like, she's this weird, cynical, like, pyromaniac, and, like, she immediately sides with Ajna because all she sees is Ajna picking on this guy. And she's like, yes, I also want to bully someone.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So, like, yeah, so, like, and, like, people are, like, it's a legitimate complaint. Like, there's no depth, you know, it's not, it's a 7, you know, when you expect a 10 from the guys who made Skullgirls.
Right.
But, man, I like a 7. I'll play a 7.
Sometimes, you know, we love a good 7 around here.
Yeah.
Like I said, Fable 2 is one of my favorite games. And it's a solid 7. Like yeah.
I'm playing this and I'm like, you know what? I like a stroll through the park.
Sometimes you just want to play something a little bit more light. Not everything has to be just stellar, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Although I get it too. It's like, you know, this game took 800 years to come out.
Right. And you expect something.
Yeah, it's the Final Fantasy 15 problem.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, this game is perfectly mid, and normally that would be fine, but expectations were through the roof, and there was no way you could possibly, you know, satisfy them. Yeah,
of course not. But like, and like, the thing is, like, what we do have feels really good.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's solid, it looks pretty, and the voice acting's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm going to keep going at it until I finish it, and I'm going to probably enjoy it a lot. And then I also did the Outer Worlds, so we can talk about that a little bit.
Yay! We can talk about the Outer World. I haven't played that much of it. I was complaining to you yesterday. I have like a not great chair right now to like actually sit down and just play video games in for several hours. I usually end up playing like 1 or 2 hours, and I get up and walk off, and I'll come back. So I've only logged like, well, okay. I started the game, and I made a character, and it was the same kind of character I made in Fallout 4, like for like a character that I played a lot. And I was like, no thanks. I realized I was like, I'm doing the same thing I always do. So I went back and I kind of restructured a little bit. Of course, then I realized I had accidentally made a stealth sniper, which is also a thing that you make in Fallout 4. That's basically like the Win build. But whatever, I like playing stealth snipers, so I stuck with that one. So like overall, I've logged like maybe 6 to 8 hours, but on this current file, I've only got like 6 hours. You know what I mean? Or like 4 to 6 hours. So I haven't played that much, but what I've played I really, really like. I mean, it's just a Fallout game. It's literally just a Fallout game. It's a Fallout game. It's got a nice BioShock coat of paint on it. Yeah. This game, you know, one of the complaints we have had about 4, I think, is how wacky it is. And this one feels right with how, like, kind of, like, the first character you meet is a zany mad scientist. Yeah, of course. And, like, but, like, he's funny. Right. And the stuff that's happening is, like, clever and endearing. Yeah, it's not, like, out of place comedy elements. It's just, like, normal. Like, it just kind of feels like the game was built around having this kind of, like, dark humor edge to it instead of being, like, here's a serious story about your kid being abducted, and here's a bunch of weird shit also. Like if you, in the Outer Worlds, if you found a little mutant boy in a fridge, and he said he's been trapped there for 200 years, you'd be like, I'd be like, I can buy that. Sure, okay. Fallout 4 is just like an egregious disrespect to the source material. Yeah. You know? But this one is still making up its rules. Yeah, exactly. In this one, it's like, fine, okay, mutants can live for 200 years in a fridge. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoy it for the most part. I was reading Saturn's Twitter, and I do think I am slightly on the side of, it is weird because I am realizing part of what I really like, and maybe I'll feel less about this as I play, but Saturn was saying that, like, the open world is kind of an aspect of Fallout that gives it its charm, and this is not an open world game.
No.
I mean, they're telling you it's an open world game. This is an immersive sim. So it's like a Deus Ex or a Dishonored 2, a Thief, stuff like that, where you have lots of options to approach a problem, which is just exactly like any, immersive sim worth its salt, but it is divided up into levels, into like sections of the game, and so it's not a true open world game, as much as I enjoy it. And I think part of what gives, even at their worst, which is Fallout 4, Bethesda games certainly have that going for them. It's that sense of, and I think it's what kind of makes people like open world games, even though I know it's an overdone genre right now, is the idea to just kind of set out and go wander. People like that.
Right.
So,
like, right away, I can feel this is not a game that we're going to sink 500 hours into.
No, this is a game I'll probably play, like, once or twice, maybe, and then I'll move on from it. It's like a... even just with like the handful of time I've put into it, it's a solid 8.5.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think it's bad, but it's not. It's still not New Vegas.
Yeah. If Obsidian can take this exact gameplay, because boy, this gameplay feels really good. And put it in a big open New Vegas style world. Yeah. They would have a killer game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, and who knows, maybe when we get done with the main quest of the Outer Worlds, I'll feel differently. Maybe I'll be like, oh shit, never mind, it's a 10 out of 10. Who knows? But right now, first impressions speaking, 8.5.
When this game is kind of like, they never really were explicitly saying it, but when it's kind of like, elbow nudge, wink wink, hey, look at our Fallout game.
Right.
And you are not put in a big open world. Like, you're like, oh, wait, what? You have to re-temper your expectations for the game.
That's definitely part of it, is that they were very explicit in their like, this is our new Fallout game, and then they put you in it, and it's like, this isn't really a Fallout game, Obsidian. It's part of what gave New Vegas its charm was the open world. It was the ability to kind of come and go and become like really familiarized with the environment and become attached to it, so that when the DLC rolled around and you started to kind of like face the consequences of the things you've done, it's like, oh, I've grown attached to this world. Who knows? Maybe I'll feel like that at the end of the Outer Worlds, the open worlds. Who knows?
That'll be the sequel.
That's the sequel. Yeah, the sequel is the open worlds. I think the system they have in place for like an Outer Worlds 2 would be really incredible. We'll see. But I mean, we've only just started. I'll put a few 100 hours into it. We'll see how I feel after.
Yeah.
I'm still enjoying it. I really like the aesthetic a lot.
Oh yeah, me too. This game like visually looks amazing.
Yeah.
I am wondering though, like, how much like the modding community is going to cling to this game.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the reason that modding for Fallout games is so big is because Bethesda and Obsidian are like, oh, here's your GEC.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's why Fallout... there's a reason Skyrim and Fallout 4 are the two most... have the most files on the Nexus right now. It's because, for all of their flaws, Bethesda puts out a creation kit, and that creation kit really streamlines the modding process. I doubt we'll see the same mod scene for this game, just because, it is way harder to make mods for a 3D game that doesn't have a dedicated creation kit. It's just you're working more so, like, the game is more so working actively against you.
And also, like, is kind of big, but like not open world, but also not small and contained. Like other popular games like Devil May Cry or Resident Evil 2, I know have a lot of mods.
Stardew Valley has a big mod scene.
Yeah, but those are. It's probably easier to mod a more contained game like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Compared to something that's kind of in the middle.
Well,
here.
You can't. A lot of the things on like the Fallout mods, because I mean I'm very intimately aware of those. It's like outfits and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of like player homes, settlement options, overhauls, stuff like that. And in an immersive sim, you don't really have the need for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't really need to you don't need to clean the game up. The game already looks good.
Yeah.
You don't need to overhaul the inventory system. It already works fine.
Though, frankly, I am hoping somebody will put out a downscaled texture pack. Because, I don't know. Part of it is just that, I think my hard drive, is on its last leg. And so it's trying to load textures. And it's just like, no. Absolutely not. Get a solid state drive, idiot. But, part of it is also that, video games these days are not terribly optimized.
No, they are not.
I feel like these textures could be a bit more optimized to load in a little faster. Small things like that.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I'm hoping there is still somewhat of a mod scene, but I very highly doubt it will be the same degrees like New Vegas. New Vegas is a massive, devoted mod scene. But open world games lend themselves to modding in a way that other games just don't.
You can drop a new quest anywhere in the map that's blank.
Yeah, exactly.
And go talk to this guy, go to this house and and find the thing.
And the mod scene is what really contributes to the longevity of even, fairly mid games like Fallout 4 and Skyrim, both of which are the definition of mid, but they are the two most popular games on the Nexus for a reason. They're kind of blank slates because of their it's a weird situation to be in. Fallout 4 and Skyrim being so kind of mediocre makes them kind of the perfect playground to make mods for. Skyrim even more so. I mean, it has Fallout 4 is the second most popular game on the Nexus right now. And it has 30 to 40,000 less files than Skyrim. Because of course you still have to contend with, on Fallout 4, you still have to contend with the fact that you have a voiced main character and an absolutely dog shit dialogue choices option.
Right, and you can't do anything with that because
it's really, really hard to change. The Cascadia team changed it, but because of the nature of the game, it really wouldn't do anything for the main quest or anything like that. So most people just kind of work within the limitations of the actual dialogue system. Meanwhile, Skyrim is the old-fashioned way. Its main character isn't voiced, and you just have unlimited, you can add as many fucking dialogue options as you want. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So that's why. But I mean, both are still ultimately incredible blank canvases to work with. I mean, you just have so much open space in the actual game world and so much you can just kind of insert, and there's just enough kind of happening in the plot that you can justify really, in Fallout, for example, really crazy tech mods and stuff like that. So, or you can just go coldly bonkers and turn everybody into a big-titted anime girl and nobody's gonna stop you.
The world is your oyster. Do as you please.
So, and it's the Outer Worlds doesn't really lend itself to that in the same way, although I'm sure there will absolutely be some big titty mods in 5 minutes. That's probably already up.
They're working on it right now.
As we speak. The game has been out for 48 hours. Or however long it's been. A week? Not even a week. Came out on Friday.
A few days, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to play more when we get off this call. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of realizing what this game actually is and going into it with that idea rather than why isn't this the open world game I want it to be.
But that is also slightly Obsidian's fault.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones who said in their first trailer, "Hey, we made Fallout 1, 2 in New Vegas."
This isn't New Vegas, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We want to get on to news?
Well, real quick, I also read comics. I'm just going to cover those real quick. I read Transformers Windblade, which is the third post-war ongoing comic.
Why is there so much Transformers shit in your life now, Ben? I know you're a Transformers mark, but come on.
Because More Than Meets the Eye was really good.
Man.
This one's got really, really cool art. I like the aesthetic of it. The artist is a lot more free-form with, like, proportions and with facial expressions. But, like, not quite, like, cartoony, but like very just expressive, and the color palette is really nice. It features a brand new character that like has never really been in Transformers media ever. That's Windblade. She is like she's a city speaker. She's in charge of the city that is also a Transformer.
Oh.
That everyone lives in.
Oh,
she is the one who can speak to it and thus like knows what problems are going on in the city. So it's about her dealing with that, and also with the fact that Starscream is king.
Oh, well, that's an important thing to also have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so that's very good. I'm also reading, House of X and Powers of X wrapped up.
Okay.
The X-Men stuff that Jonathan Hickman's working on. So now now that the intro is done, here is your series of X-Men comics now.
Right.
The different lines that are more superhero oriented, but like still set in the aftermath of all that crazy shit that happened.
Right.
So they're a bit less of the weird kind of like flowery, etheric language, and they're back to just like Wolverine complaining about not getting beer.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm reading, the best one right now is Marauders, which is, so I told you a few months ago where it's like the idea is that the mutants all live on an island called Krakoa, and they access it through these portals that you can grow from seeds. Like the flowers bloom and they form a portal. Shadowcat discovers that she can't use the portals.
Oh.
So she's kind of unintentionally exiled from Krakoa.
Oh, no.
And so this comic is about her stealing a ship and partnering up with a bunch of other mutants and going, all right, well, I can't get in, but there are other places where mutants can't get in either because the government or organizations are preventing them from going through the portals.
Right.
And going home. So she's going to sail with her band of misfits and go help liberate these nations and these areas and get people to go where they need to be.
Yeah.
And it's got this great cynical style, like humor and tone. Right. And it's, it's we can't go home and none of us were friends beforehand, but we're kind of friends now.
Oh, yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
That good stuff. I made a post on Twitter a while ago. It's like, yeah, this is exactly my thing, along with More Than Meets the Eye and Exiles, which Exiles is my favorite X-Men related material ever.
Yes.
So that's really good. I also read the new Spider-Man series that's written by J.J. Abrams.
Oh no.
It's bad.
It's bad.
I don't like it.
That's all you had to say, home.
It's it is an alternate universe where MJ dies in a superhero conflict.
I'm already bored.
Yep. And Peter grows up and he's sad and his son hates him and he doesn't take care of his son.
I'm already bored.
His son gets spider powers too and he's got to be Spider-Man now. Oh. And it's like, wow.
Thanks, groundbreaking.
There are 2 series that I would recommend reading instead of this.
Okay.
One of them is Renew Your Vows, which is a series where Peter and MJ have a kid, and that kid gets spider powers, and Peter develops a suit for MJ that gives her half of his strength.
Oh.
So they can be a crime-fighting family together.
Nice.
The other one I would recommend reading is Spider-Girl, which is a very long-standing run where, again, Peter has a kid and she gets spider powers, but MJ's not dead, and it's happy and, like, enjoyable and endearing instead of a sad dad.
Hey, we hate sad dads around here.
We don't do
really
the sad
good
dad.
sad dad. You better. take that shit elsewhere.
The thing that separates like Spider-Girl and this Spider-Man series is that like in Spider-Man in the J. Abrams book, it's he quit being Spider-Man and he's sad and he doesn't want to do anything anymore besides like be a wartime photographer and take pictures of sad things. And in Spider-Girl, it's he lost his leg in like his final battle with the Green Goblin.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
So he has to like force him to retire, and he's like, "Oh, I'm retired. I'm done with this. I'm too old."
Right.
But like every 10 issues, he's like, "I have to be Spider-Man one more time," and this keeps happening. He's like, "I've got to put the suit on one last time." And it's like, you just did this.
It's like, Peter,
you did this a month ago.
Peter, you're not fooling anybody, buddy. Just keep the suit on, dude. It's fine. All right.
Fine.
The other judge a one-legged Spider-Man.
The other fun thing about the Renew Your Vows thing is that like, during the Spider-Geddon event, which was like the big crossover, all the different universes, Spider universes crossed over and stuff.
Right.
The Renew Your Vows, Peter and MJ were part of it, and in the comic, Peter like looks the same as like everyone else, but he has a teenage daughter, so he's older.
Right.
So everyone keeps calling him like the older Peter, and he's like, "I'm not that old.
I'm only like 40. Shut up." God.
Like Doc Ock calls him the aged Parker, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "The aged Parker is correct." And he's like, "Dude, come on."
All right, that's good.
Yeah, his like equivalent, his Spider-Girl equivalent is like graying temples, and he's got like the old man, like the elderly man beard, like just that nice like solid beard. Yeah,
Hot dad. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but it's like they're the same age, and like one of them looks exactly the same as all the others. But yeah, so that one's good. If you are sick of Spider-Man, go read Spider-Girl or Renew Your Vows. It's much better.
Yeah. J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Yeah, and I was like, J. Abrams is writing a superhero comic. I wonder what that's going to be. Oh, it's the same.
I'm so excited for episode 9.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That trailer was like, that was a pretty good trailer.
I'm just having a hard time, man. I'm having a hard time with it. I was one of those people who actually did really like The Last Jedi.
You know what I came out of The Last Jedi realizing?
What?
I don't care about the depth. I don't. We do a podcast where we take media and we analyze it. We pick it apart. We find the stuff that's good and we talk about what it makes us think about and stuff like that. I don't want to do that for Star Wars. I want to see a gold robot be neurotic and nervous, and an old guy has a sword that's made of laser blade, and there's a spaceship, and it's fun, and they talk about hope and stuff, and it's like cool.
Cool. Yeah, I liked the element of The Last Jedi where it was kind of like, fuck your past.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Why does Rey have to be somebody important? Why can't it just be that, like, the circumstances of how she grew up means she's just really in tune with the Force? I think I think it's an interesting concept. I really like it. It's something that deserves exploration. It's probably not gonna be canon anymore. I just don't trust J.J. Abrams. I don't. I'm bored with the fact that they brought back Palpatine. I'm just like, man.
I liked the fact that The Last Jedi was like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know that thing that's like you think is really important? It's not, actually.
It's not. I hate the idea. I'm so bored of it. It's such a bougie concept. Like it's so shitty and bougie and just this idea of like your bloodline is what determines how important of a person you are. I hate that shit. I think it's so tired, and Star Wars is just infected with it. It's like, you're an important person because of how important your dad was. Cool, you're a Kennedy. Nobody likes them. That's it. You're an important person because your daddy was important. So you're like a Bush. You're a Kennedy. Who gives a fuck? I hate that stuff. And it's like, there were certain elements of The Last Jedi that I didn't think were good, like all of Cantabile?
The
Casino Planet? I don't remember what it's called.
That was rough. That was
bad
not great.
And dumb. It was bad and dumb. The trailer made it look like Rose and Finn were gonna infiltrate like a first order ship, and I was like, that'd be cool. That's not what happened. I hated that part. Cantabite.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest problems I had with The Last Jedi were mostly just editing decisions and like framing issues and pacing.
Yeah.
But apparently those are the wrong flaws of the movie. And the correct flaw is that Luke Skywalker called it a laser sword and not a lightsaber in one scene. Yeah. Because the lightsaber is important. Remember how important it was when he threw it away in the third movie?
Yeah, remember
when he just kind of casually tossed it aside. He's like, I don't actually need this.
Yeah, when he was actually like, I'm going to choose to like not use my laser sword.
Yeah.
And then he literally tells Rey in the middle of like The Last Jedi, what do you think I'm going to do? Solve all my problems with my laser sword? Because he didn't solve all of his problems with his laser sword at the end of Return of the Jedi. Man, it's almost like it's actually a pretty consistent characterization, and it's just that you're all just mad that he didn't show your stupid nerd property like the correct amount of reverence. And it's like, it's a good movie. I like Rian Johnson a lot. Brick is a good movie. It's
almost like maybe if you watch the movies instead of trawling the wiki for 30 years.
Yeah.
You might actually understand what the thing is saying.
But that's just like a huge subset of fandom these days. Is less about like interpretation and more like curation, you know?
Yeah.
Don't think about your media, just kind of like consume it and move on. It's like, that's, you know, and so like I am kind of just like, I'm a little iffy about episode 9 because I feel like we're going backwards from like what The Last Jedi did, which was be like, yeah, fuck your bloodlines, fuck the idea that you have to be from an important family to be an important person. I mean, do you realize, like, what you sound like? What people sound like when they say that? Like, oh, Rey can't be somebody unless she's, like, a Kenobi or a Skywalker. I mean, like, do you realize, like, the shitty monarchistic... I don't know how to say that word. Monarchistic, like, ideal of the universe? It's, like... You're saying, like, blood right rule is the only way to determine true heroism, instead of just, like, you grew up in the correct circumstances of life to be understanding and to know what it is to be lonely, and drawing on that pain is what gives you an ability to, like, wield the Force in a meaningful way without, like, the destructive nature of both the dark and the light side. Because, like... As much as I think the prequels are kind of bad, the prequels did do a good job of showing, like, hey, you know, the Jedi Order actually didn't have the right idea. Like,
the Jedi Order kind of sucked.
It kind of sucked, actually.
They were kind of bad at their jobs, and they made a lot of mistakes.
They were a lawless. They had no, like, real oversight, and they were all about, like, suppressing your feelings and not feeling love, and, like... So you couldn't get, like, married and have kids and do all of these, like, normal things that give people fulfillment, you know?
Except for that one that needed to fuck for a species. There is that guy. He got to fuck.
All right, well, look, I never said that the prequels were, like, brilliantly written. There's just some good concepts in there, okay?
I get what you mean, and, like, to me, that's, like, part of the thing of what makes it appealing. Like, especially with The Last Jedi, is that, like, the things that were, like, tragic in The Last Jedi were tragic within the contents of the story, not because of the fandom didn't get what they wanted.
Right.
Like, a lot of people, like, point out a flaw of the movie as, like, oh, this movie means we'll never get Luke, Han, and Leia as a trio again. And I'm like, yeah, that's a tragic thing that happened in this war.
That's the point, is it's supposed to be like a tragic thing, you know?
This isn't a storytelling flaw. This is a consequence of war.
Yeah, it's like a bad thing happened, and it's supposed to make you sad. Like, because bad things happens in stories, and sometimes that means that the people, you know, that love each other never see each other again. That's like a theme, like a thing to talk about and kind of ruminate over. Like, man, war sucks. Sometimes it means you won't see the people you love ever again. It doesn't mean, like, you know, maybe, like, take a step back and think, like, man, war isn't cool. It means that, like, regular people like you and me love people, you know? And then they're just kind of, like violently separated from them forever. And you don't get that closure. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it does suck that, like, we don't get a shot of the three of them in the Millennium Falcon anymore. It also sucks that Leia lost her brother and husband to war.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's kind of like, I don't know. Like, that's the point. Anyways, yeah, so I'm, like, iffy about J.J. Abrams directing this last movie.
That being said, if Palpatine is as fucking good as he was in Episode 3, I'm like, hell yeah, bring him on. Give me Episode 3 Palpatine, and I'll be like, hell yeah. Give me this fucking slapstick, snidely whiplash asshole. Yeah,
I'm just so whatever about it. I really am. I'm just like, although I do desperately, and it's gonna happen, y'all. I hate to break it to you. I want to see Kylo redemption arc so badly because I want to see, like, that part of the internet, you know, the part I'm talking about, just lose their fucking minds because, like, oh my god, this villainous character had a redemption arc. I want to see them go absolutely ape shit. And God, I hope it's happening. I hope I'm not speaking into existence. We pop in the biggest bottles for Korra and what's his face.
That guy no one likes.
The guy no one likes. Like, I hope I'm not invoking that energy right now. But hey, I mean, like, you know, if it's like Kylo actually doesn't get his happy ending, but Rey ends up being, like, gay, I'm like, I win no matter what. Like, straight up. If Kylo gets his redemption arc, cool. I love me a redeemed villain. I think Adam Driver's cute. If he doesn't, and Rey ends up just like a cool, like, badass lady, that's also cool. I'm happy no matter what, except for all that other stuff that I'm not happy about. Because I don't trust J.J. Abrams at all and his stupid mystery boxes. Whatever. Anyways, are we done?
Yeah, so... yeah, the news is done. That trailer was good, though. I like the part where they got Carrie Fisher to say the last line. It was a good thing.
I'm still so... I like just be like laying around and I'll think about Carrie Fisher and I'll just be like, she died strangled by her bra in moonlight.
I've seen like people like, okay, before we get one quick thing, just like I've seen people complain about, like, you know, oh, it's weird that Disney keeps reviving dead actors. And, like, yes, that is a weird thing to do.
But she already shot those scenes.
Yeah.
That was the thing, is I think she had already shot some stuff for The Last Jedi, so it's like, yeah, we're just using this footage, it's fine.
Like, they're just recycling stuff that already existed.
Yeah,
like,
but also bringing back dead actors, like, via CGI and stuff is monstrously ghoulish. All I ever think of is that chocolate commercial with Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I hate it so much.
Also, it's probably, like, a missing page in Carrie Fisher's will to digitally insert her flipping the bird in every single scene of any future Star Wars movie. So, like, you know, whatever.
I actually could see that. She's just like, she's up in
just
heaven.
Tyler Durdening into Star Wars.
Carrie Fisher is just like, no, you have to have me insult Lucas to his face directly.
It's that new, like, fucking urban legends of, like, the ghost of the little boy and, like, 3 Men and a Baby, you know?
It's just Carrie Fisher just lurking, just slightly out of frame.
Certain Blu-rays are released and there's, like, a shadow of Carrie Fisher in the background.
She's just giving the finger, like, just shooting the bird with both hands.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not a very dignified ghost. That'd be awesome. She was so cool. Man, she was. She just talked extensively about how she fucked Harrison Ford. And I'm like...
and also Mark Hamill had no idea.
Mark Hamill had no idea. But she wrote this biography and she's like, hell yeah, I fucked Harrison Ford in his prime. And it's like, man, I wish I was as cool as you. That's awesome. So yeah.
Alright, let's get to this fucking news. Holy shit.
Whee! Right, it's been bonkers.
let's get to the biggest and best right away.
Tell me some news, newsman.
All
Mr.
right,
Newsman, news me some news.
Gamers boycott Activision Blizzard after tournament winner voices support for Hong Kong.
Oh.
Here we go.
Free Hong Kong, revolution of our time, but boy.
Boy, this is one of the biggest and worst things to happen to a company I've ever seen.
I'm actually genuinely sad real fast. I am genuinely sad that I'm going to be in Japan during BlizzCon.
Oh God, I'm so excited. If you don't know what's going on,
yes.
So a Hearthstone player, a pro Hearthstone player, won a big tournament, and was doing the post-game interview, and he casually mentioned Free Hong Kong.
Right.
And Blizzard, in response, sat down and they put on their bib and they got their knife and fork and they just cut right into the boot. And they took big ol' bites of that boot.
Out of Chinese boot because they
that guy got banned. He got his prize revoked.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty substantial amount of money too.
And this was not a Chinese tournament or like in Hong Kong.
Nope.
This was just a regular tournament in America, I'm pretty sure. And
they also fired the casters.
The guy who had no control over the situation.
The guy who had absolutely no control over what Blitzchung was gonna say just got the boot.
The guy who heard him say that and was like, I'm gonna be fired right now.
God.
So, in response, people went, hey, Blizzard, what the fuck?
Right?
And Blizzard, being the smart, intelligent company it is, doubled down.
Oh, God. They're in, full just drooling all over themselves mode at this point.
People wanted to cancel their accounts en masse,
So then they wouldn't let people cancel their account?
The standout to me for this one is the guy who sent Blizzard an email. And he's like, listen, I'm going to get my account canceled one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Either you open the gates, or I'm going to go on Overwatch and start saying the N-word constantly. The ball's in your court, Blizzard.
Oh, God. It's so horrible. But it's you just let... I mean, how stupid do you have to be? God, every single aspect of this controversy has been utterly mismanaged from the word go. Down to so American University has a collegiate level Hearthstone. I didn't realize Hearthstone was this big of a deal, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I did not either.
I was like, Blizzard's big esports game is Overwatch. No, it's also Hearthstone? Had no idea. Didn't even know. It's like a card game, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a mobile card game.
I don't get it. I really don't get this one. But I'm a boomer now. I've become a boomer in my age because I'm just I don't get the love for Hearthstone. But anyways, American University has a collegiate level Hearthstone team, and during the middle of their match, they put up a sign that said Free Hong Kong, and of course they were banned for 6 months, and Blizzard immediately cut away, the casters immediately cut away from American University's stream, their camera, and it was really funny because it just showed the other, I don't even remember who the other team was. It just showed the other team sitting there really awkwardly. What do we do now? Are we gonna get fired?
The thing is also someone pointed out, this is a brilliant move on their part. Mm-hmm. Because this was a week after the Blitzchung thing.
It wasn't even a week. It was a couple days.
It was enough days that the story was established and there were no rumors. We know the facts of what's happening.
Yeah.
They put up that sign, and they're like, well, if Blizzard doesn't ban us, they're hypocrites.
Right.
If they do ban us, the cycle starts over.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like confirmed bootlickers at that point.
It's amazing. And between then and now, Nintendo or Overwatch came to Switch, and Nintendo gave it no announcement, no pizzazz, nothing.
Did you hear the rumor, by the way? So there's a rumor floating around right now. So Overwatch literally just came out on Switch, and it's a $60 full price game for a video game that's been out for like years now. Full priced, and it runs like trash, by the way. It's like an awful port. Pretty much everybody says so. It's just a god-awful port of Overwatch, which is a game that can run on a toaster. Mm-hmm. And the rumor is that it's about to go free to play. Because they're supposed to... Because at BlizzCon, the rumor is that they're going to announce Overwatch 2.
Yes! Okay, that was...
Oh, God, which is just... We'll get to that. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Go for it. I'm just going to say that's already on the docket, but yes, go on.
Put a pin in it, baby. But, so they're going to announce Overwatch 2, and that means that once they announce Overwatch 2, they'll probably put Overwatch 1 on free-to-play, even though they just put out a $60 port to the Switch of Overwatch 1. It's like, wow, you really fucked that one up, huh, guys? Man.
Oh, boy.
God, I can't even imagine. I fucked up a lot in my life, you know? I'm not a good person. I'm not really good at things, like, in general.
But not this much.
I've never fucked up this hard, you know?
Not so many times in a row.
You know?
Blizzard has been tripping over their own dicks since the beginning of the month.
It's amazing. It's just been nonstop. Endless.
And BlizzCon is next week.
But they're such cowards too. Because they close Q&A. You instead have to submit your questions through a box. Which I hope that box is just full of free Hong Kong.
Or pictures of Winnie the Pooh.
Or pictures of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's just been a huge clusterfuck. I hope during the cosplay competition people are screaming free Hong Kong. Because cosplay competition is huge. And of course, I'm saying this is like one of my other best friends is like a huge cosplayer, and she actually has been paid to cosplay Tracer. She actually has made money cosplaying off of Tracer before for like official events, like OWL events and stuff. But like, so I like hate the idea of the cosplay competition being interrupted, but also it's going to be like one of the most watched things at BlizzCon. Absolutely interrupt the cosplay competition to scream free Hong Kong.
The insane thing too is that they can't just not live stream BlizzCon.
No, yeah, of course not.
Because people paid money for tickets, for virtual tickets.
Yeah, so like you have to live stream BlizzCon. Sorry, there's no...
You can't even close door it and then like just announce the news later.
No.
Blizzard has effectively shot themselves in the foot to give like they've closed the door on any chance of escape from this situation.
You can't get away from it. And at this point now too, the other thing is that like it's a meme at this point. Mm-hmm. So even though like it's kind of the story has died down some, like Blizzard keeps shooting themselves in the foot, but the story has still died down some as kind of like, you know, like we live in an absolutely diseased culture where news only stays in like the public consciousness for like a week at most, because our brains have all been broken by Facebook and the internet. Not to sound too much like a boomer and go too much of a Chapo Trap House style rant, but you know, it is what it is. But at this point, Blizzard fucking up when it comes to free Hong Kong is a meme. And memes don't die.
No, they last forever. And every decision Blizzard makes from now on will be directly associated with this moment.
Yeah, it's great.
Like any BlizzCon announcement will be like, "Hey, are you doing this? Distract us from Hong Kong?"
Yeah, I mean that's what Overwatch 2 is. It's obvious.
Yeah, that's like and. The best part about like this rumor of Overwatch 2 is that even without this Hong Kong stuff, who fucking cares about Overwatch 2?
Yeah, I can't, like, Overwatch I wouldn't call Overwatch a dead game, but Blizz
stagnant.
It's a stagnant game. Blizz has been so like reluctant. They apparently they don't support, you know, OWL or OWL or whatever you call it. The Overwatch League. They do a really poor job of supporting their players. It's just been a huge clusterfuck from the word go. And so like as a result, like player base is like dramatically dropped off for Overwatch, and the hype has died down. And we've talked about it in the past before, is that all of their opportunities to kind of build the player base, because what limits, like, I mean, you know, you have Fortnite and stuff, but even Fortnite is a different game. It's a different kind of story. It's for a different kind of people. So like all of their opportunities to grow Overwatch's player base via like PvE, actually exploring the lore that actually seemed kind of interesting when the game first came out. We talked about it pretty extensively in our Overwatch episode.
Yeah, we were young and dumb and excited about all the potential for the story,
and then it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, what do we know? It was only 2 years ago. Boy, how things change in such a short period of time. They utterly just dumped like. Chris Metzen left, so they don't have a lead writer anymore. Michael Chu, I love his design work, but he's not a writer. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's just, all of Overwatch 2 is guaranteed to be a clusterfuck. There has been, now this is with massive, massive caveats, so just hold on to your butts. The rumor was that there was I saw it actually, there was a 4chan post from an alleged, God almighty, I cannot put the KZ excellent style, allegedly, in bold enough text. This is an alleged, fired Blizz employee.
Well, this is not news right now.
No, we're talking rumor.
This is something we saw that we both found very interesting.
It's going to be such a cluster. If any of this turns out to be true... I don't even know where to start.
The biggest... the one that I saw, like, the one that... So, like, boy, if this is true, and I'm like, what? And it was if they
McCree?
kill off... If they kill Emily... that Tracer can get with Widowmaker.
Oh, God. No, did you see the one about McCree? That's the one that made my head like spin around like a top. I was just like, I am begging them on my hands and knees to do it because it's so stupid. Like, go full bad writing.
So what is the rumor, Sarah?
The rumor. So we have to preface this. So, I don't know the exact, like, the numbers behind it, but so McCree, in the current timeline of Overwatch, is 35 years old. And he is like a founding member of so he was originally a member of Deadlock, which is a biker gang, based in the American Southwest, before he was recruited into Blackwatch. But he was recruited into Blackwatch at allegedly like 17, so he couldn't be a founding member of Deadlock. No, it's not that he was a founding member. It's that Ashlyn, who is the hot white-haired chick, she is the founder of Deadlock. Except, it can't be, because Deadlock was founded in, like, the 1970s, according to their insignia, and Overwatch takes place in 2076, or 2077, something like that. So, they can't be founding members, otherwise Ashlyn would be, like, 1 billion years old, and, like, technically, something about, like, the way the timeline works, I'm working off of, like, I don't fucking pay attention to, like, all of the minutia of Overwatch lore, because there is no lore. Like, real quick, there is no actual lore for Overwatch. They're just making this shit up as they go, because they don't have any writers on board right now. But the point is that McCree is actually, like, supposed to be way older than 35. So the rumor, to bring it back around, is that McCree is a Soldier 76 clone, one of 3, in an absolutely batshit reference to Metal Gear Solid. The cowboy character from Overwatch, the guy who wears a badass motherfucker belt buckle, is supposed to be One of 3 clones of Jack Morrison. I hope it's real. I hope it's real so I can just point and laugh. We'll have a whole episode just making fun of Overwatch at this. If any of this turns out to be real, we will, I swear to God, right here, we will do an episode
on Overwatch too.
On Overwatch's lore. Like, you know how we do Kingdom Hearts episodes where I ask you questions? I will do the research and we will do a bad Overwatch lore episode.
Yes, okay.
If any of this turns out to be true.
Any of the rumors on that 4chan post, and I'll track it down and I'll put it in the description too so we can keep track of it. The one that I saw that tickled me was Reaper will be revealed as gay as another one of the pull the triggers.
They're like desperate at this point because they're like, but what if we canonize Reaper 76? That would do it, right? No, people wouldn't hate us anymore, right? Yeah.
And then someone pointed out, like, doesn't Reaper like canonically have like a wife and child at some point?
Still have, he would be bi, but it's also just like it reads as such like total pandering. It's just pandering.
It's the exact thing that happened with 76.
Yeah,
where it's like, oh yeah, he's gay. He's been gay the whole time, you know? Right? And this was like after something dumb happened with Blizzard.
They do it every single time. They did it with Tracer. They did it with 76. They'll just keep doing it, you know? They're like, pull the gay trigger. That'll keep people from hating us. We're woke,
In case of controversy, break glass.
It's like when fucking, what's his face, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, was like, I don't care that Martin Scorsese doesn't like our movies. We're woke, and he's just an old white guy. It's like, shut the fuck up, Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, it's such a common tactic these days to, like, leverage, like, bullshit neoliberal fucking woke points to make your video game seem more progressive as you, like, grind employees into dust beneath your... By the way, that was the other rumor from the 4chan post, is that, like, the crunch for Diablo 4 is so bad that people are sleeping at their desks, and one artist was put on paid administrative leave because he tried to kill himself over the break. So... don't forget that even as they leverage, like, their shitty fucking woke points, that they're literally just, like, throwing human beings into the meat grinder of capital. Like, make no mistake, this is funny, but it's also, like, fucked up. And you know, these big companies will just be like, you can't hate us, we have a black hero. And it's like, that's cool, but I see what you're doing, too. I'm not stupid. Like,
Lindsay Ellis did a really good video about this exact subject, and you should check that out.
It's such a good, her woke Disney video is so good.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, like, if any of these rumors on that 4chan post end up becoming true,
oh yeah,
this will be like the cherry on top of the disaster Sunday that Blizzard has wrapped themselves into. Fucking, I apparently Jason Schreier just proved this wrong. I just saw it, like, before we started recording.
Oh, no.
But the rumor of Diablo 4 being a Schluter.
Oh, God. I wish Diablo 4 was a Schluter. I do. Because it would be the stupidest possible way to do it. Like,
right.
Please make the worst decision possible. I'm begging you. That's what I'm saying. So,
like, I was going down that list of rumors, and I'm just like, God, I want at least one of them to be real.
Please let some of them be real. God almighty.
I just need Blizzard to be on a stage and met with indifference.
Just cold-hearted booing, like Trump at the baseball game the other night.
Yeah.
Oh God, last night, Jesus.
So yeah, we will see where Blizzard goes in a week, and who knows? Maybe next month.
Give me the other stupid news. Do it. Pull the trigger, Piglet.
All right, so we'll go on to the next one. I was gonna say, like, before I really say, like, maybe next month we'll report on Blizzard shutting down. Who knows?
That's never gonna happen. But you know what might happen?
Private World, scrap boxes, and more come to Fallout 76 with Fallout First.
Fallout, fuck you first.
Fallout 1%. Fallout, pay us $100 on top of your 7%. Pay us $100 a month on top of your $60 game fee to get to the special edition of our game with, you know, all the different like stuff that should have been in the base game, like private servers or a box to put all your shit in.
Yeah. God, it's astonishing.
Immediate follow-up article. Fallout 76's premium private servers are not private, it's Scrapbox just deleting scrap. So not only did you make everyone mad by making the stuff that should have been free cost $100 a month, you also broke it.
You fucked it up. It's incredible to me that you could do, like, I do know that in the past, like, paid for private servers have been a thing. But they're not $100.
Not $100 a month.
They're not $100 a year. They're like $20 a year. You pay. You get your private server run by like the company, and you and your friends get your own server to kind of screw around on. It's happened in the past, but they're not $100 a year, and they actually are private instances of the world.
Yeah, and like. This one, like, you're going into basically up to, like, used servers, basically.
Yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yeah, it's, and, like, other players will be there, but they're just not interactable. They're not, like, visible to you.
I knew that was the case. I knew, when they announced it, I was in the shower, and I was thinking about Fallout First, because, you know, as you do. And I was, like, in the shower, and I was thinking, like, what is the stupidest way Bethesda could handle private servers for Fallout 76? Because they aren't just gonna... There's no way in hell Bethesda is actually gonna do the smart thing and create, like, a new instance of the world for players to use. And then my brain decided on, as I was shampooing, my brain went, okay, but what if it's not actually private, and it's just that you're there, but all of the other players are invisible? And I was like, yeah, that's the stupidest possible outcome to this story. And I was fucking right!
And you were spot on.
God, I'm so smart.
And then on top of that, the box where you're supposed to store all of the stuff you get will just delete it when you log out.
And this is a game that is like Fallout 4, where, and you know this, in Fallout 4, if you lost all your scrap, in Fallout 4, losing all of your scrap represents the loss of literal hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Building up your inventory of stuff, and
so that you can build freely without having to go out and loot more stuff. Like that is a major part of Fallout 4. I mean, you and I have put in so much time into this game. We know that that is like a huge part of Fallout 4 is to go out and just do some like really hardcore dedicated looting. So you have enough copper, you have enough ceramic, you have enough rubber, like these really kind of basic things that you need to build like elaborate settlements. And like, because Fallout 76 is in part based around the settlement building mechanic, that means that acquiring and amassing important loot is just as important to 76. So deleting everybody's like building scrap is the worst thing you could do.
It's like amazing how every time I think this is it. Because my I don't know, I've told you this and I'm kind of revealing it here. There's two things I'm waiting for, which is the game goes free to play.
Yeah. Or
the controversies finally just stop and the game just dies.
Yeah.
And because I want to do a 76 retrospective.
I would love to do a 76 episode.
Week by week, month by month, here's everything that fell apart. Right. And I'm at the point I'm like, everything in the game is broken. Like, what else is there to break in this game?
Right.
They have to be done. It has to be over.
Oh my god.
And
every time.
Last month, the helmets had mold.
Yes.
This month, their new thing breaks day one. And to make matters worse, I've seen people talking about how people are bullying
the first
users.
God, I'm so happy.
Like to get the premium content, they're being like attacked like when they go into public servers.
Because if you are a Fallout, if you pay for Fallout First, you get an icon next to your player name in the world, and it identifies you as a Fallout First player. And I think that was supposed to be like a FOMO thing, like a fear of missing out response. Be like, I'm a Fallout First member. Don't you want to be like me? But no, instead, what's accidentally happened is that Bethesda has invented class consciousness. Bethesda has actually made people aware of their class consciousness. And so they're seeing these like dipshit Fallout First people, and they're like, fuck these guys.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich, you know?
Like, especially, does 76 have a cannibalism perk?
Oh, I don't know. I wish.
It should, and that should be the thing. That should be...
Actually, the thing that I've heard is that people go around beating up Fallout First players in teddy bear suits.
Okay, that's good too.
That's also really good, yeah. Yeah, no, it's incredible to me. It's like, yes, the class revolution started with Fallout 76 because we realized that we exist in a different class as these rich assholes who can just blow their money on, like, useless things, you know?
Also, just to cap this off, Bethesda tripped over their own dick the week that Outer Worlds came out.
Womp womp.
Boy, you really thought, didn't you?
You really thought that this would be the way to, like, get one up on Obsidian's new cool Fallout game. Yeah, man. I hope Fallout First members just keep getting bullied forever until they stop using the service, or until they're forced to, like, take the icon off. Or until, like, the actual cultural revolution happens and we just, like, you know, we kill all the landlords and we, you know, we reclaim this country back for the working man and Bernie Sanders becomes president. You know, all that good stuff. Or they make sure.
God damn it! Now I'm just thinking of Bernie Sanders getting on stage like, I'm gonna abolish Fallout First.
Your Bernie Sanders impression is horrible.
I know.
Why does he sound like Richard Nixon?
I can't do that accent. I can't do Bernie Sanders' actual accent.
You can't talk like Bernie Sanders. He's gonna go after the billionaires and the billionaires. That's Bernie
Todd Howard, I'm coming for you.
Oh God. Bernie Sanders has a Twitch account, and I hope he just, like, gets on 76 and also just starts attacking Fallout First members.
He gets on 76 and you're just pointing out all the bullshit in this game. Like, this shouldn't be happening.
Oh my God, so funny. So he said that your Bernie Sanders impression still just sounds like Carl from Aquatina.
Whatever.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
Yo, Fry Man, I'm gonna abolish the landlords. I got that free healthcare, Fry Man.
Oh my God.
2 bits.
2 bits.
All right, what else we got? We got a lot of good. We got a lot. There's been a lot of really good news happening to rich people.
Oh God.
This one's my favorite besides these two. Actually, no, this might be my favorite article on this episode.
Okay.
Google Stadia will be faster and more responsive than local gaming hardware.
Oh yeah, what was the stupid fucking thing they said? It will predict your button presses before you make them.
Predictive inputs to have negative latency.
What the fuck does that even mean?
No one knows what it means because the technology doesn't exist.
What is
it's
that
not a real thing.
I can't even wrap my head around it. What is it? Is it just that, like, Sasuke is, like, sitting inside of Google Stadia's, like, server rooms? Like, it's just Sasuke and Kakashi, and they're just, like, sitting inside of a server room, like, predicting everybody's next move?
Like, the idea is that, like, you know, and okay, so people have pointed out, like, okay, if you kind of break it down and you think about it in very, very, very basic terms, it kind of makes sense. Like, if you're playing, let's say, Mario Bros. 1, you know, Mario Bros. 1, the NES has 4 buttons and a D-pad, right? You can run, you can jump, you can walk, you can throw a fire flower. That's about it, right?
Right.
If you have, like, a machine learning device and you play the game, and it kind of you kind of reads your inputs. It kind of like this already exists in certain games, like for training purposes, or the amiibos in Smash Brothers will like learn based on how its opponents fight, right?
Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, so you can have a game that's like, okay, well, 90% of the time, the player jumps at this point around this frame, right? So, okay, that makes sense. And if you're streaming the game and you get hit with some lag, the game can kind of fill in the gap based on what you've done in the past, right?
Right.
This is for a game that has this what I'm presenting is for a game that has 4 buttons. And
it's not Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's not Destiny. It's not fucking a fighting game. It's not like a Fallout or anything like that, where, what do you do here? Do you left, right, up, down, jump, fire, shoot, attack?
Right, yeah, there's 100,000 different like responses to I'm being attacked.
Right. Like what is this? What does this mean? What if you're playing Street Fighter and you get hit with some delay? What is the game going to do to compensate?
Right.
Like, what input is it going to like fill in,
Yeah.
Like there's no way this can work.
I know.
In anything.
I know. It's incredible how much nonsense it really is. Like, yeah, you're right. For a simple game, sure, you can fill in the gaps, but like they're talking about how Destiny 2, which is it's a multiplayer game. So you're not just like, it's not just like how is the player going to respond to like an AI opponent. It's how this player is going to respond to another player who is also like a thinking thing, who can make 1,000 different choices in that moment, Mm-hmm. It's like, who is this for? Who is the Stadia for? Is it just for like tech nerds with too much money and no comments? Yes, that's actually the answer.
It's for tech nerds in Silicon Valley who are going to show this off to their other tech nerd friends. And it's for investors who look at this article and they see magic computer bullshit, and then they hear a cash register sound.
Yeah, of course.
That's who this is for. They're talking about like this will be available in 1 to 2 years. The Stadia won't exist in 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, no, sorry,
it will not be a product that you can buy in 1 to 2 years. It'll be gone.
On the way of the N-Gage, like pretty much as soon as it comes out.
This is like.
I know.
Last time we talked about Stadia, I'm like, it's never been more horseshit than what they're saying, and now they're saying this.
They found a way to be even more horseshit.
It was Comcast will just give better internet for the same price, which is like that's horseshit.
Yeah, now they're bastards at Comcast.
Yeah, and now they're saying, oh no, we'll have a game that knows what you're gonna do. So I made
my
this
Naruto
joke.
theory way more.
I made this joke. We're gonna see like fucking tool assisted runs of Celeste at GDQ, where they're just gonna plug it into the Stadia, and the predictive learning is gonna go.
All right, Stadia, go for it. Oh my god, it's so stupid.
Stadia versus TaskBot.
Oh my god, TaskBot just cleans the fucking floor with it.
They're gonna train this.
They're gonna train. First, they're gonna train that fucking the little robot that represents TaskBot. They're gonna teach it how to dab. So as soon as it like just absolutely beats Stadia's ass, it's Celeste. It can just start dabbing on it as hard as it wants.
It's fucking like you do the machine learning for like Street Fighter V, and you plug in videos of Daigo playing, and you're like, learn from this, and you're like, wow, this guy's really good at Street Fighter.
That's how everybody plays Street Fighter, right? No. Oh my god, that's so stupid.
Oh my god. It's like the equivalent of that guy who like goes to play chess online, and he sets up like the computer at the highest difficulty, and he just mimics his opponent's moves, and then he does whatever the computer does.
Oh my god, yes. That's just what it is.
God, all right.
All right, next.
We've got, this is another fun one. Man stole $40,000 of games and equipment from Valve.
That's awesome. That's how you know they're not making anything in Valve right now.
A guy broke into the Bellevue office and apparently stole Gabe Newell's minigun prompt.
What?
Like, Gabe Newell's actual, like, minigun prop, like, heavy minigun from Team Fortress.
Oh my god.
He got out with that.
Honestly, that guy is like a class hero.
And then,
yeah, the guy's my hero.
Okay. So here's a quote from the article, the Polygon article. Shaputis was caught on camera selling the stolen goods to a Bellevue GameStop. He sold 43 games to GameStop for a total of $336. According to police.
That is almost like, if it weren't real, it would be the lamest joke ever. It's such a hacky joke.
It's a hard drive article. Like it's one of like, not the punchline, but it's one of the lines in a hard drive article.
Local man sells videos, sells entire game collection, gets $300. Yeah.
So that's obviously they caught him because he sold all the games to one GameStop.
Why would you do that, dude? Just man.
Okay, so it's so here's the list of stuff he stole. $42,000 in total from the developer, including video games, 15 Xbox One games, and 23 PlayStation 4 games. Shaputis told police he stole 15 to 20 Asus laptops, a Nintendo Switch and Steam Machine consoles, and a metal minigun-looking thing he said he saw in CEO Gabe Newell holding in a Forbes magazine feature.
Oh my god!
Oh boy!
Oh my god! This guy's my hero, even if he's an idiot.
So apparently he got into the office and then he didn't remember what it all was, adding that he threw random items into a rolling recycling bin he used to tote the stolen goods out of Valve's 11th floor office.
Oh my god!
So he just snuck in and he put it all in a thing and he walked out like he worked there.
This is proof, by the way, if you ever need to, like, get anywhere, just, like, and, like, a place you're not supposed to be, just, like, act like you belong.
Yeah.
You know?
No one ever asks questions.
Nobody ever cares.
If you look like you should be there, they'll let you in.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're walking out with just, like, a bag full of stolen shit, my advice to you is to don't run. Take your time. Just kind of wander out. I can't believe I'm giving, like, you know, don't actually steal. I'm not giving.
Don't steal.
Don't steal. But I mean, if you are somebody who is, like, I don't know, like, shoplifted in the past, here is my advice to you. Just act like you belong. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever stops anybody. For the record, because I worked in retail for like 8 years, we are not legally allowed to chase you out of the store. Like, you're just not allowed to. I mean, that's how it was in the States where I've worked. Mm-hmm. Once you make it past the threshold, nobody is going to stop you. And like 9 times out of 10, they're not going to call the police. They're just going to write it up as a loss report and send it to corporate. Yeah. So just act like you belong and just stroll right out. And don't do that. Don't steal, kids. Don't actually steal. I'm just saying that if you do, you know, like, that's how you do it. But I'm not actually advocating for you to steal.
Here's my advice, kids. Don't steal, because when you do steal and someone brings up, like, for instance, if you steal a disc from a box, like a game box, and then a customer brings that box up and then it's empty and we don't get to sell the product anymore, then the employees have to go and put tape over all the boxes, or they have to put them in the container with the magnet seal, and that's a real pain in the ass, and I hated doing it. So don't steal because it's annoying.
Don't steal. Don't be annoying.
And also,
but also if you're gonna steal,
I get to be like, oh damn, now this kid doesn't get to play Smash Bros.
But if you are gonna steal, this is the difference between the two members of the Gorge.
If you are going to steal, just act like you're supposed to be, and then you'll be fine.
It's incredible the difference between the two members of the Gorge. Ben's like, don't steal. I'm like, but if you are going to steal, no, don't steal. But if you're gonna do it, steal correctly. You know, I'm just saying, act like you belong. Just kind of walk out. Don't run. Take your time. Have a conversation with the employee. And then just walk out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because this guy just stole. And honestly, if he hadn't been stupid, if he had just kind of like slowly sold things off, you know, reformat the hard drives. It's really easy. reformat the hard drives, and over the course of a couple of months, put like 1 or 2 laptops up on Craigslist. Maybe the Craigslist for the next like 2 towns over. That's fine.
Yeah,
you would actually get away with it, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money, so the cops might be looking for you for a little bit longer. But if you kind of like sat on it for a couple months and then sold it, you'd be fine. Yeah. Jacob Geller, actually, if we're going to talk about YouTube videos for a second, he literally just put out a video like 3 days ago. Jacob Geller is the guy who did the Last Great Secret of Shadow of the Colossus video.
Okay.
He put out a video about museum theft, and one of the most successful museum thieves of all time is a guy who didn't try to pawn off. Most thieves get caught when they try to sell the shit they've stolen.
That makes sense.
And this guy, he was just like an obsessive thief of Renaissance art, but he wouldn't sell it. He just loved art. He was a weird guy who like genuinely loved Renaissance art and artifacts and sculpture. And he would literally he didn't have any money. He lived with his mother in her attic with his girlfriend, and Jacob Geller called it the most illegal attic of all time because it was just wallpapered with like old paintings, and it was full of just artifacts and stuff, and it was incredibly deeply illegal, and he just lived up there and he enjoyed his beautiful art until he got caught. And the point of the matter is, hang on to it for a while. Don't try to sell it immediately.
Don't get greedy.
Just hang on to it for a while. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's, but I'm also telling you not to steal. Don't steal, people. But I mean,
okay, so next, another fun little thing. I saw this happening. This is big enough that it caught my radar.
Oh.
Fortnite Chapter 2 patch released.
Oh yeah, they kind of ended the world? What happened?
Yeah,
I'm such a boomer.
It. There was, as I've seen videos of it on like Twitter and stuff, there was like a black hole that opened up.
Yes.
And like sucked up the entire map while people were playing Fortnite.
I actually do think that is extremely cool.
That's really cool. I think that was like a super cool way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Make it like a big event that people can actually like get front row seats and witness, like in the middle of your game. Like, oh shit, the world's coming to an end.
Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV did it better.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool because they fixed the game and made it better.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like a huge hit. And apparently, going back to Blizzard real fast, Final Fantasy XIV is just verboten around the office. Which
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fortnite Chapter 2 came out. I don't know like what's different. There's like a map mode or different gameplay mode and stuff, a new map and stuff.
No.
I don't know anything about the Fortnites. I don't play the Fortnites, but like a lot of people do, and I've seen people didn't know what was happening.
Oh, that's funny.
People who just play Fortnite, they don't check the news on Fortnite. They just play it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" They're calling like support, like, "Why can't I log into Fortnite?" And it's like, because the thing's happening.
Because the world ended in Fortnite.
We're making a better Fortnite. Didn't you see?
I think that's very interesting. It's pretty bold. I think it's a neat idea. But I have heard that Fortnite had seen kind of a player base drop off. So this will obviously kind of jettison it back into public consciousness, which is obviously what Epic wants.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. I've actually seen a lot of people like, all right, I'll play Fortnite now. I'll check out what
I think this is a
cool thing. I'll check it out.
I think it's an interesting idea. So
yeah, I think Fortnite is probably like the most benign of the like free to play games that exist.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Dan Olsen did a pretty good video about its like horrible predatory nature. So, generally speaking, if it has billions and billions of dollars of capital behind it, then it is basically a machine that runs exclusively on human suffering. Mm-hmm. So, I know that like Epic employees just like live horrible lives. At least the people who work on Fortnite.
Yeah, that's true.
So, it is still just a giant capitalist machine made to grind people's bones into pulp and then be fed to a 12-year-old who will probably call you a slur, you know? And that's just how it works, y'all.
That's the industry.
That's the industry these days. God, being a video game dev sucks. I'm so glad I dropped out of college. Every day I'm like, man, it's so cool that I dropped out of college. I don't have to put up with this shit. Because that's what I was going to school for a little bit. And I said, fuck that. So, yeah. What's next?
A cool one, an update on next gen. PlayStation 5 launches holiday 2020. That's a good year to do it. It's a good time to put that PS5 out. Solid state drive. I'm a little disheartened that it's coming out so soon because it means the end of those fan designs that are the fucking dumbest things you've ever laid eyes on.
They're all so bad. Our fucking title card should be the fake PS5 controller. I literally just saw on Twitter 5 minutes ago.
God,
I need to find it.
Did you see the design where the disc is like sticking out?
No.
Like it's like it's like a weird cross shape. And the disc is like only like partially covered.
Oh, that's big stupid. I love it.
There's one that's just an orb.
Yeah, of course. But that's actually I get that one. This is a weird thing to say. Do you remember the PS9 commercial?
Yes.
That's what that's a reference to. It's not like an actual serious fan design. Hold on,
okay.
I'm sending you. This can be our title card. That's the.
Oh my god! I thought the boomerang was bad. What the fuck
I love
is
it.
That?
I love it.
What the fuck is this horseshoe?
It's so bad. It's just a horseshoe.
It's just like all of these are just like you remember the portable GameCube?
Yes.
The fucking dumbest things you can ever imagine. Like, this is the future of video games.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, it's so stupid. I love it. You're right.
But yeah, PS5 coming out gets a good time to put it out. Everything will be done and out by then.
Allegedly,
yeah. Assuming you don't get hit by delays, but like, yeah, it'll be a good time to like put their new stuff out. It'll be with PS4.
Are they just going to delay Tsushima to be a PS5 launch title at this point? Like, I don't.
I mean, it might be cross-platform. It might be 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is yeah, I mean there's still like very little details besides solid state drive and just like info about the loading times and stuff.
Back compat.
Yeah, back compat. Like it's still a rumor of 1 to 3, but like 4 is definitely confirmed.
4 is 100% confirmed. Mm-hmm. I'm betting 1 and 2 will get in. 3
I could see that. 3 3 as like the discs are weird for 3. So like
it's just
like
the emulating the PlayStation 3 is just so shitty.
Yeah, the internals for the console also are just like
it's
weird and
a nightmare.
hard.
It's a nightmare. That console gen sucked so much shit. Mm-hmm. I think I said that last time we were talking about this in like the last roundup.
Yeah.
That entire console gen just sucked ass, man. Like the PS3 was a nightmare to develop for, and the Xbox 360 just like spontaneously combusted literally all of the time. It's such a bad generation.
Also, like, because I was playing War for Cybertron, I picked up a PS3 controller, and I'm like, this feels like a fake controller.
It's not real, because it's like, it has no internals.
Soft.
It's so light. I hate it.
It's so soft and light and, like, delicate. Like,
I've heard,
like, the rumor.
I've heard that the rumor is that the PS5 controller is kind of like a halfway point between the DS4 and, like, your standard Xbox controller in terms of weight. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as the R2 and L2 buttons actually click instead of being marshmallows, I'll be happy.
Please be buttons instead of fucking squishy. I'm begging you, Sony. Just make them buttons.
Don't make them sponges. Make them buttons.
I'm so tired of spongy triggers. Because you just lay your fucking controller down on the ground and like your YouTube video skips ahead 20 seconds.
It's my favorite like meme is the me sets down PS4 controller, Bloodborne character, and it's the image of Cowboy Bugs just pulling out his gun.
yeah, absolutely. That's totally it. So, we'll see.
Dave has a nice modded PS4 controller where the R2 and L2 buttons actually click, and I'm like, I want that.
I want that. Anyways.
Yeah, two more things. Capcom will, quote, revive dormant IPs, so Dino Crisis and Darkstalkers fans still have reason to live.
Dino Crisis, Dino Stalkers. That's actually, I changed my mind.
That'd be a good one.
I was about to get excited for Dino Crisis, and I fucked it up and I said Dino Stalkers. So now I want a dinosaur fighting game. And the dinosaurs have big titties like Morgan.
Is it Primal Fury? I think it's Primal Fury.
Whatever that game exists. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, yes. So it looks like they've made an announcement. They want to revive that. Like, there's no details. That's just a vague statement. Like, we want to revive our old franchises. But it's like there's a lot of stuff that they have revived. Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 2.
Both have sold extremely well. That was in the same. That was in the same report that Resident Evil sold extremely well, and they're very pleased with it. Pretty much everybody knows that RE3 Remake is in development right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. It's a public secret at this point. They specifically said, since this is like basically kind of halfway a Devil May Cry podcast sometimes, they said very specifically that DMC5 exceeded expectations, as the meme goes. And they're looking to get Young Blood to work on future installments of the franchise, which means that DMC is back, baby.
DMC5 Special Edition PS5 launch title.
Yeah, I honestly could see it. I literally could see them launching the PS5 with a DMC5 Special Edition.
Capcom, I have a good idea that you should do, and you will make millions of dollars if you make a game. You should bring back Power Stone.
Bring back. Itsuno has said before that he would love to make a Power Stone. He's busy with Dragon's Dogma 2 right now, I think. But
I think that like a 4-player party beat 'em up in the era where Smash Ultimate is just destroying everything.
Right.
I think you could sneak in with a Power Stone 3.
You can sneak in with the Power Stone 3, absolutely. I think it would have enough like nostalgia hype to actually move some units.
Mm-hmm. Also, there was like a weird Twitter thing between like
Ikumi Nakamura?
Yeah, Nakamura and Kamiya, where they're hanging out, and then one of them was like, "Hey, do you guys like Okami?
Do you want Okami to come back?" And everyone's like, "Excuse me?"
Everyone's like, "Wait, are you two working on Okami too?"
And then they never actually said anything after that, so now we're all
and then they shut up and walked away.
And we're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm hanging out here at the studio where they make Devil May Cry," and we're like, "Why
She's hanging out with
there?
Itsuno." It's like, what?
Why are you doing that, huh?
What?
Are you like there for meetings? Are you just hanging out with your work friends?
God, I hope. Now, I mean, it sounds like Kamiya and Nakamura are trying to get something going vis-a-vis Okami. I don't know if it... I mean, obviously, I don't think it's actually, like... It's not set in stone.
It's not an official, like, hey, Capcom is working on,
Okami 2.
A possible, like, pitch for Okami 2. It's, hey, you guys like Okami, right? We like Okami.
I'm sure if I had to guess, I'm sure what actually happened at Capcom that day, and this is me just spitballing, is that Nakamura went and discussed freelancing opportunities, because right now she is a freelancer, and she talked to Kamiya at Platform, and I bet what probably happened is that Kamiya and Nakamura worked on a pitch for a Platinum-developed Okami 2 that would be published by Capcom. And it was probably like a for real pitch, not like a vertical slice or whatever, anything like that. It was just
not shooting the shit. It's just like we wrote a document down.
Here's a design doc. Here's some concept art, maybe a few ideas and stuff. And they're gonna throw it at Capcom and see how it goes. I'm betting they were probably talking to Itsuno about it as well to try and get him on board. If not, maybe Nakamura is doing freelance design work for Capcom as well, because that's her bread and butter. There's all kinds of interesting options. I like the idea of them just pitching this idea to Capcom, and we'll see. We know from recent comments that Capcom and Kamiya have kind of settled their differences now that Inafune is out. It sounds like the current CEO of Capcom is more willing to kind of let bygones be bygones and start talking to Kamiya again. I know Kamiya himself has got pretty high opinions of Devil May Cry now, after he kind of lost control of his baby.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, he respects Itsuno a lot. They've hung out at different, like, industry events and stuff like that. They seem to really like each other. So, I mean, there is a total possibility that Platinum could, in the future, develop games. I mean, they're a developer, and they're always just shopping around for publishers. They're not specifically owned by any one company either, because, like, they're working with Square Enix right now, allegedly.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
Who fucking knows? I don't know where the fuck Babylon's Fall is. So they're just kind of shopping around looking for developer or for publishers. And I mean, yeah, it's a total possibility that in like a year's time, we could see an E3 trailer for Okami 2 or whatever, made by, Platinum and published by Capcom. And the IP would still be owned by Capcom, but they would just be allowing Platinum to license the IP. Because that's the thing that Platinum does. They make licensed games.
Yeah.
So they would be essentially licensing the IP to produce it under, like, with funding from Capcom and stuff like that, which I think would be really interesting.
It would be cool and a good, like, hey, it's Clover again. Remember Clover?
Yeah. Remember how much we all love Clover?
Yeah.
I could see it being a Switch game, and that would make a lot of money, actually.
Capcom, you should make God Hand 2.
Oh, that's never happening. Sequel fucking never, buddy. Look, we got Devil May Cry 5 and we might get Okami 2, but let's not be absurd here.
Every so often I'll just remember our prediction episode for Devil May Cry 5 where I'm like, what if V is just Jean from God Hand?
It's just Jean from God Hand. It was before we actually saw V's face too.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll be like, I would actually kind of prefer that. Like, just fucking imagine for a second V and Iris infused back together, and it's just Jean.
God. Oh my god.
Like
honestly, the V's outfit looks like it has the same silhouette as Jean's.
It does. That's why I'm like costume. That's why I'm like, oh, it could be. What if it is?
What if it had been? No. Sorry.
Just like all this build up for Virgil and it's fucking Jean instead, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
It's the same universe, weirdos. Okay. All right.
No, Virgil's not in this one.
You still gotta wait for special edition.
Yeah, where he's just gonna be a DLC DLC campaign
character. Again. Fuck. It's horrible. I hate it. Thanks.
All right. One more story. This is a really cool one, I think, for you and I personally.
Oh boy.
Introducing Steam Remote Play Together.
Oh yay! I'm so excited for this one.
This is a cool thing. PS4 has a feature. Maybe Xbox has it too. I don't know for sure. They have a feature where if you are both pro members, you can share play, which means if your friend's playing a game and they have stuck on a hard part, you can jump in and take the controller from them and do it for them.
Yes.
Kind of like you're playing on the couch together. Steam Remote Play Together will take any game that only has local multiplayer. For instance, River City Girls. And if you run Steam Remote Play, you can play that multiplayer as if it's online co-op.
That is extremely cool. Yeah, that's just a nice little news story. It means that maybe one day we can be streaming River City Girls. It means we can play other things together more easily. That's just cool. I just like that. I'm glad for it.
The articles or the announcement. This is the Steam announcement. Actually, it's in beta right now. Their idea for it is that only one person needs to own the game just so they can host it.
Okay.
It will the person who is hosting needs to have a really high stable internet connection.
Okay.
So the game runs efficiently. If the other person has like a bad internet connection, it still will have reduced lag and input and frame rate issues and resolution stuff. It'll have built-in voice chat as well.
Okay.
And it's PC, Mac, and Linux, so it's compatible with everything.
That's cool.
yeah, it's in. So like I said, it's in beta right now. So they're working on making sure it's better.
Do they have a predicted release date?
Nothing in the article itself.
Okay.
But yeah, they're working on it, and apparently you can test it out now, and they're just going to work on making it better and more efficient, and there doesn't seem to be any like downsides or anything to it either.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm game with that. I think that's great. I have a pretty stable internet connection most of the time. Knock on wood. Yeah. Most of the time I have a pretty okay internet connection. It means that we can actually play video games together. It means that I never did understand the local, I guess it's like a holdover from the LAN days, and I never did like do LAN parties. That was kind of before my time when I got into video games in a big way. I never did understand like local only PC games. Like, there's no online multiplayer for things like River City Girls. I just never did get that. But, you know, it's a thing.
I think it's also like games like River City Girls are multi-plat, so like they have local on console as well. But yeah, like like local game PC like is a weird. It's
a weird concept. Are you just gonna sit around the same computer? I guess
you're gonna huddle around the monitor with like two chairs up against the desk. Like it's weird.
Get it. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be really good if they can work that out. Hopefully this becomes like a thing. Like I can see PS5 and Xbox whatever having like that built as like a standard feature, like not as like a PS Pro thing. Like it's just built in.
I think it will always be a PS Pro feature because it's a good way to actually sell PlayStation Plus memberships. But I mean, like, if that was one of the options of a PlayStation Plus membership, I mean, with all the other kind of, you know, PlayStation Plus is not a bad service. You get a lot of good stuff. You get free games every month. You get discounts. It's, you know, it's a pretty decent service for what it is, especially because it isn't that expensive every month. 10 items on my Steam wish list are for sale now. I just got that email.
All right, there you go.
Okay. But yeah, no, I don't think PS Plus is a bad service. And they probably, you know, if they included that kind of a service would as well, I probably would, you know, cop PS Plus, you know, because then it would finally be something kind of really worth my time. But yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea. I think it's a good way to actually get, you know, more people playing video games together. Yeah, I'm excited for like a full launch.
A more stable release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. This month has been great. If you like seeing people suffer, it's also had a few spots of just like genuinely good, fun news.
I love seeing Ikumi Nakamura hang out at Capcom. She is she's a bright spot in my life. I love her.
I hope she finds something stable and gets to make a really good game that will be visually impressive.
Please let Ikumi Nakamura design monsters for Devil May Cry Special Edition. I'm begging you.
Hopefully she stays at Capcom and is working on either Okami or Devil May Cry.
Or Resident Evil.
Or Power Stone 3. Please.
Somehow Power Stone 3 has like a really like horror
bunch of weird horror
out of nowhere.
Well, it does have Jack the Ripper already.
Oh, okay. That's the excuse.
While we're at it, Atlas, make Snowboard Kids 3, please. If we're talking about reviving franchises that no one but me cares about.
There's at least a few other people on our Mega 10 who care about Snowboard Kids 3. You're not completely alone.
You can put Jack Frost in it. It'll be great, guys.
There's literally dozens of you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't forget to mention this last month, but when I was in Florida, I did go to one of Dave's friend's house and played, he has like a full setup with all of his retro consoles and stuff, so we played Power Stone 2 while we were there.
How nice.
And I'm like, God, this game's so fucking good.
It's still pretty good. Bring it back.
I wish it weren't trapped on the Dreamcast.
Oh, that's so sad.
Just port 2 to Switch or something.
God, why the fuck haven't they done that at least?
Because Capcom forgot the game exists.
They
forgot the franchise, this thing they made.
That actually does make a lot of sense. Capcom's just like, I can just like imagine just like Capcom like rooting around in like their warehouse, and they're like, what the hell is this? Why is it covered in dust? What the fuck is Power Stone?
What's this next? What's this Dino Crisis? What?
God, I hope they bring back Dino Crisis. Fuck, I hope they bring back Dino Crisis, because Dino Crisis is like honestly, even more so than Resident Evil and DMC, Dino Crisis is peak Capcom insanity. Like, because it's a survival horror game where you fight dinosaurs.
Where they're like, and not even
and the
like
third
weird,
one is set in space.
Not even like necessarily like mutant like horror dinosaurs. They're dinosaurs.
It's literally just clones of dinosaurs. It's like a horror survival horror version of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like, to me, something about that, especially because like the main character of the second one has like powerful late 90s, early 2000s pink hair.
Dino Crisis is great because if you didn't tell me it was made by Capcom, I never would have guessed it was made by Capcom.
Oh man, it looks like a Capcom knockoff game.
It looks like it was made in response to Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. It's Capcom is ripping off themselves.
That's literally it. So stupid.
And then in that warehouse, they're like, Darkstalkers, throw that in the furnace.
Nah, they're never gonna.
We never need this again.
I literally don't think there's rumors that they're working on Darkstalkers 4. They're not working on Darkstalkers 4. There's no way. I'll believe
Morgan is a Marvel vs. Capcom character.
Yeah, that's all she's there for.
Morgan from the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Guest starring Morgan from.
Why hasn't Morgan appeared in Devil May Cry as like a guest boss?
She shares a card with Nero and Dante and Teppen.
That's cool, and that's what I like.
Dante's looking at her boobs, and Nero's just like, no, I love Kyrie, so he isn't actually looking at her. He's like really embarrassed. It's actually really good.
That's great.
So, I guess play Teppen.
Yeah.
Don't play. I don't know what the fuck Teppen is.
Don't play card games.
I don't know what the fuck Teppen even is. It's just a card game, right?
It's a card. Yeah, it's a card. Yeah, it's an online card game. You buy packs and stuff.
Do you think we can have we can rally to have Teppen replace Hearthstone?
God.
That'd be way cooler, right?
Everyone switch gears to Teppen.
Yeah. That's the craziest fucking version of reality. I'm actually kind of into it. Let's do it. Okay.
All right, I think that's about it. That's it for the news. So thank you, Broke Free Piece for background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com, or at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And if you want to listen to Sara talk about some other stuff and play actual games with their friends, you can listen to her other podcast.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of other cool, queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We try out lots of systems. We have a lot of fun. You should come check us out at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
All right, that'll do it for us. This one's easy. Fuck Blizzard.
I was going to say free Hong Kong, but that also works.
Free Hong Kong and also fuck Blizzard.
Free Hong Kong, fuck Blizzard. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.